What's going on, guys? This is your boy Trillionaire Mac. Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be answering a subscriber's question as it relates to order flow. Okay, now I was planning on doing an order flow video for you guys in a few weeks, but I've received multiple questions about it and a comment about it. So I'm going to go ahead and touch up on order flow and show you guys um, so I'm going to show you guys how to actually um, find and look for order flow within the market as well as predict order flow. Okay, so order flow is simply just the flow of the market. All right, don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it. It's literally just how the market flows. Okay, now before we get started, I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update on Trillionaire Mac trades. We're currently at 5,238 students, clients within this group. I call out all of my trades that I do take and I post them inside of the Telegram. I also update you guys on, for example, right here, you can see I said order block was based on the H12, M15 was the entry time frame, and then I told you guys to re-enter again, risking 0.5%. So I give you guys, what do you call it? Trade management along the way, and they're overall just great examples to look at if you are trying to get really good at smart money concepts and order block trading. So as you guys can see, our losses have just been 1.5 R, okay, and our gain for that day was 8.99 R. So you can look at this as a 9% gain and only a 1.5% loss, okay? So the losses are extremely small, the gains are very large. This 9%, 8.99% was actually pretty small compared to our usual wins, but we're gonna keep going. So if you guys do want access to this, click the first link in the description, okay? And you will be taken to this chat, all right, where you get to see my trades day in and day out. All right, now let's go ahead and get into order flow. So order flow is simply just how the market moves, okay? Now, there's two ways that I kind of look at order flow. I look at order flow as, first way, we'll go over, just basic, if we're talking about an uptrend, just basic higher highs and higher lows within the market, all right? Actually, let's stay on page. Let's see. Okay. So I simply just look at them as higher highs and higher lows within the market, okay? Now, one thing about it where a lot of people get confused is the time frames. All right, so we're gonna go over this in depth. So you guys might be here for a minute. Let's actually change this to solid line. Okay. Straighten these pieces up just a little bit. All right. So let's say this is the H4 time frame, okay? So let's say this is the H4. Order flow is simply, all right, it's simply how the market moves, right? So if we have a higher high and we see that price break structure, okay, so let's say this is a BOS. All right, let's say price break structure. Then what we're looking for next is going to be another higher high, right? If we break structure again, we're going to be looking for another higher high, okay? Now let's talk about how to know if structure is being valid or invalid. All right, in order for this higher low to be considered a valid higher low, let's do higher high, caps, okay, and then we'll do higher low right here. All right, so, and this is H4 structure. So in order to know if this higher low right here is valid, Okay, price has to break structure, all right, and create a solidified higher high. So until this higher high right here, until this higher high right here um, has been created, okay, after the break of structure, then this higher low right here is nowhere on our radar. Now, once we see a valid break of structure and then we have a higher high, then we look back and say, okay, this was a valid higher low. Okay, but just know that this is not a successful retrace, this retracement from this higher high. It's not successful until we see that impulsive break of structure. Then this becomes a successful retrace. This becomes your new impulse. Okay, so you're always going to be working with impulses and successful retraces. So for successful retraces, I'm going to just do SC, but just know it stands for successful retrace, or SR, excuse me. So not support and resistance, but a successful retrace. So once price actually gives us an impulse, okay, that breaks structure, then this becomes our successful retrace and it's a valid higher low. All right, so price retraces, higher low, okay? We have an impulse move that breaks our higher high, creates a new higher high. Great, this becomes a successful retrace. And now we're waiting on price to give us a new possible higher low. Right, so we're gonna do that one more time. You have a break of structure, right? Price creates a new higher high. We have a retrace. Price creates a possible higher low, right? We have an impulse that breaks structure. The impulse creates a new higher high. And then fantastic, this becomes our successful retrace. Okay? So this is bullish order flow. And like I said, so let's say this is on the H4 time frame. So now what you're going to do is you're going to be taking your entries, okay, on the lower time frames. Okay, very, very simple concept, but we're going to take it slow. You're going to be taking your entries on the lower time frames. So let's actually change this up just a little bit. Let's go to settings. Let's change this to dash, and then we'll make this a bright color. Maybe red, pink, maybe a little thicker. There we go. So now let's say you're using my rule of three, and let's say you go down to the M15 time frame. Okay, if you don't know what my rule of three is, I think I've mentioned it in other videos, but it's something that I teach my mentorship students to understand what time frame they should be looking to take their entry on and things like that. All right, so using my rule of three, let's say you went down to the M15 as one of the options. Okay, what you're going to be seeing, okay, and let's say this pink line right here is going to be my, this right here is going to be my M15. Right here. All right. So on the lower time frame, this is how order flow is going to look, right? So you'll see this. Right, and then you'll see a break of structure on the M15 time frame right here. Okay, you'll see another break of structure on the M15. So this is how price looks on the M15 time frame while going through higher time frame order flow. Okay, so once you actually understand this, it makes it very, very easy to understand what the market is doing no matter what the lower time frames look like. All right, so let me just finish this up and we can stop right here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so our black line is going to be our H4 time frame. All right, so we'll make this black, change this to solid. Okay, and then our M15 time frame is going to be our pink. So while you're creating your impulse moves, your higher lows, successful retraces, impulses, higher lows, successful retraces, impulses, higher lows, successful retrace, you are going to be eyeing everything on the lower time frames. Okay, so when you see the M15 is in a downtrend, all right, what you need to do is you need to mark your highs. We'll make this black, solid line. You need to mark your highs and your lows of that higher time frame in order to really understand what flow the market is in. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is, if you're trading off of the H4 time frame, it doesn't matter if you are Confluence trading, support and resistance trading, institutional trading with order blocks, it doesn't matter. But if you're trading like me, this is what you should do. This is what I would do if I were you. Right? I would mark the low and the high of that time frame. And so while I'm on the M15 time frame, while I'm on the lower time frame, as long as my higher time frame, okay, is still respecting order flow, then I am still good for price to continue pushing in whatever direction order flow is supporting. Right? So let's break it down step by step. So the first step, find order flow on structural time frame. Okay, so that can be H4, daily, weekly. You can use H1, but I would use H1 only if you're trying to intraday trade or day trade. But if you're going to be holding a trade for more than 24 hours, more than 48 hours, I would use the H4 and up to figure out order flow. Okay, so is price making higher highs and higher lows on that time frame, or is price making lower lows and lower highs? That should be your first question. Okay. Second, mark your order flow range. Okay. So what I mean by this, if you're on the H4 time frame, okay, and price has just created a higher high, which means we had a valid higher low as well as a valid successful retrace of the previous higher low, retracement to the downside. Okay. Your higher low is going to be your low of the range, and the higher high is going to be the high of the range. Mark that range up. Okay, put a high, put a low, and make sure you denote it. Right, so if you need to type on the trend line and say like low H4 range low. Okay, H4 range high. What this is going to do is show you invalidation points. Right, so if I'm looking for an order block, let's say I'm looking for an order block, let's say right here within this area. Okay, and let's say just for this, actually for this example, let's say we were looking for an order block right here. All right, just to make sure that this lines up so I can show you guys a valid example of like how I do things. Okay. All right, so let's say we're looking for an order block trade right here. Okay, I'm marking my range high and my range low because I need to see where are the invalidation points on my chart as it relates to order flow. If price creates an impulsive move and breaks this high right here, then I am no longer looking for this order block to play out right now. Okay? If price breaks this low right here, okay, then that also invalidates this order block. Now, I never take my entries on the higher time frame. I always take my entries on the lower time frame. So I wait for my entries to be confirmed. Okay, so let's say price blew straight through this order block and then collected liquidity below this higher low right here, moved to the downside. That's completely fine because I probably wouldn't have been in the trade anyway. All right, but let's say price comes down here to our order block and then gives me something like this on the M15 time frame. My entry would more than likely be right here within this area. So those of you that are a part of my mentorship program, the website is in the description below. You guys all know about my transition phases for price action when I used to trade strictly price action. Now I am an institutional, more of an institutional trader. All right, but those price action concepts you guys can see do pop up in my institutional way of trading. Okay, smart money concepts, right? So once price pushes into this area right here, I'm then going to use my two-step process on the lower time frames in order to take my entry. All right, now I'm not publicly teaching my two-step process. Maybe one day I will, but it works way too well to show a valid or invalid order block entry. So I save that for my mentorship students. But if you want multiple examples of this, if you want to see this take place over and over and over again, feel free to join my mentorship program. Or, excuse me, Trillionaire Mac Trades. Okay, where I send my setups inside of this chat, you know, over and over and over again, literally. All right. Now, if you do forward trades out of this channel, a bot will kick you out. So please don't forward any trades out of this channel, and we should be good to go. Okay, this was an example of a risky entry. Okay, and then after this entry was a confirmation entry. All right. So yeah. So what you want to do is find order flow on your structural time frame, mark your order flow range, okay, high and low. All right, and lastly, once you do have your high and low or invalidation areas, okay, then what you're going to want to do is look on your lower time frame for a transition of price whenever it gets to an order block, so to speak. Okay, so not only am I teaching you guys about order flow in this video, but we're also incorporating it within the order block confluence strategy. Okay, so I'm trying to give you guys, you know, some free base knowledge to where you can hop on the charts and start to see these things take place and start making some money. Now there are other pieces of information that I won't teach for free, okay? But with this knowledge right here, you guys should be able to hop on the charts and make some money, honestly, within the foreign exchange market or any market, really. All right, my bad. A student is asking me a question, so I'm just trying to respond to his question really quickly. All right. So yeah. So you want to find your order flow on the structural time frame, mark your order flow range, okay, high and low and validation areas, and then look on your lower time frame for a transition of price when it touches your order block. All right, that's basically it. This is order flow in its purest form. Use the higher time frame to figure out whether the market is within an uptrend or a downtrend. Use your, well, if you know my rule of three, use my rule of three in order to go to a lower time frame to figure out when price is actually going to transition out of an order block, so to speak. And then you just take your trade, set your stop loss below, okay, the previous lows or below your order block. It's up to you. And then just pay attention to the impulse move that breaks structure. And remember, it's not a successful retrace until we break structure after the retracement. Okay, so this would not be a higher low right here if price would have pushed up here and then pushed down. Okay, if that would have happened, this right here would not be a higher low. Okay, because it wasn't a successful retrace. A successful retrace is only successful once price breaks previous structure. All right. With that being said, I hope this video makes sense to you. If you guys do have any questions, of course, always contact me on Instagram or Telegram. Both of those are in the description below. I want you guys to go ahead and click that first link in the description and join me and the rest of my 5,000 clients with taking these trades. All right. Send all my setups for free. My bad, guys. I just had a student call me. Um, and once you become a part of my mentorship program, you can really contact me all throughout the day. I'm pretty much always on the charts, even while handling other objectives throughout the day. But yeah, so let me know if you guys have any questions. I won't be doing a giveaway in this specific video, but whenever I do release a trade breakdown video, then you guys can feel free to comment and things like that to enter the giveaway. Like, subscribe. Let me know how long you've been trading and what type of content you want to see me produce. Okay, it can be anything as it relates to trading, as well as click that bell notification icon to be updated whenever I upload a new video. I'll catch you guys. Peace.